I'm Jen Munksgard, and I am the owner and provider at To Your Health and Wellness, and I am a Stroll Tioga partner. To Your Health and Wellness is a healthcare clinic that was born out of the need. Many years of me being in acute care, I noticed the revolving door of traditional care, or you just couldn't get in. So To Your Health and Wellness provides affordable and accessible primary care. And then we like to say, and so much more. Our focus is on preventative medicine and wellness. So what inspired me to start To Your Health and Wellness was I worked many years in acute care, and my most recent going back to the hospital, I worked in the ER, and it dawned on me that a lot of people are in the ER because they either don't have a place to go, they don't have someone to call, they're not taking care of themselves. So To Your Health and Wellness was born out of trying to help people take care of themselves so they stay out of the ER or they stay out of the acute care system. And then also being able to get that kind of hometown provider feel where they have someone they can call, like, hey, I don't know what to do about this. I have this, funny mark, or I think I have a UTI. Like, to be able to pick up the phone or shoot a text to your provider really doesn't happen in traditional medicine. And so To Your Health and Wellness was kind of born out of that dream that I could create that for a small local community. We're all in it together. We're all raising our kids together. We see each other in the grocery stores together. We're real people. And so when you come to our office or I go to a place in Tioga, there's always a friend. There's always somebody that you can see. And so you become invested in each other and your successes, and in my case, your health. This week I actually had my first 3 patients, and I call them these like stories that just keep me going. One of my patients, she's a professional here in town, found herself what I call in the middle, where she just wasn't taking care of herself, and she started noticing limitations in her mobility, limitations in her activity. I've been seeing her about 2 years, and we've really worked on her. We've got her health back in. I've encouraged her to get out, get moving. She's lost weight. She feels so much better. She's still not at her goal, so we call this like non-scale wins. And she went to Iceland with some friends, and she was telling us a story this week that she climbed this waterfall, and she said, I wanted to call you from Iceland to tell you about it because I would have never been able to do this a year ago. It's stories like that that we hear every day that really is our why. In my opinion, healthcare should be built on trust. And you trust your provider knows you, you know your family. I always refer to something called the wellness wheel. And when your provider gets to know your cogs, because your cogs are different than my cogs, and one little cog is out, it's gonna tip the whole thing. So we talk about this all day long. And when you get to know your patients on that personal level, you could really fix those cogs and start picking apart. And it could be something very simple like sleep, or it could be activity, or their kids are driving them crazy. And if I just have 15 minutes with you in and out, I don't know those things. And so when you come into our office, and that's the sense of community that we have. You know me, I know you, you know my kids or about them, and it's a unique, trusting relationship that we can transition into wellness and healthcare. Each month with Stroll Magazine, I write a health article of some sort, and it really is kind of the focus of the month. So sometimes it's gonna be about back to school, or sometimes it's gonna be this is colorectal cancer month, and I try to keep it light. I try to keep it kind of in our tone where it's in real language, but also real things that you can do. I don't want to write an article and say it's colorectal month, everybody go get a colonoscopy, because it's not something everybody can do. But I can write an article and say it's colorectal month, here's diet that can improve your colorectal health, here's signs to look for, here are things. And so you'll always see in my article usually something about diet, something about exercise. I generally try to tie it into, you have so many things in your backyard at Tioga that you can take advantage of, like the walking trails and the gardening and the pool. So when I write the article, it's usually kind of directed towards that. And it's in a healthcare spin, but not a boring journal healthcare spin. I love to go look at the family stories just because, again, I'm a people person. I love families. I love our local communities. And most of the time it's somebody that I know. And then I can pull out a little thing about it, And also I know even doing things like this, it's nervous. We're not actors. We're not used to being in magazines. So I like to go to those families and say, oh, I saw about your dog, Susie, And so I like to read those because I'm like, I never knew that you were from Mount Rainier or whatever, and that's the fun part to me, is actually getting to see and then being able to touch those real people. When you open up a random magazine, they're people you've never seen, and they may be AI for all we know. Town of Tioga is full of so many young families, but there's also older people too. But what I notice from our area particularly is people want to take care of themselves. They want preventative medicine. They want to feel good. I always call it, we're all living in the middle. So whether you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, I mean, you're still in the middle of hopefully your prime. And I see in Tioga, there's people walking, people are out and about, they're sitting outside, and you don't see that in a lot of other places on the other side of town. There's not patios, there's not open air, music sometimes. So I love that Tioga is active and young and thriving and growing, and then again, that sense of community, because you're not just gonna see one person sitting outside, you're gonna see a group of people sitting outside. If I had a friend or a colleague that was thinking about a stroll partnership, I would absolutely encourage it. One of the things that I love about it is that you see your local real people in the magazine, and it's good to know who the businesses are and who you're doing business are, and then it's nice to know that they're your community, they're your people. I kind of come from that old mafia school of, who do I know that's an AC guy? And then I'm like, oh yeah, I know Bob is an AC guy, or who do I know that, can groom my dog? It's like, oh, I saw, they're right here, they're right around the corner. Part of my whole goal in life is never cross Tower Road, so if I know there's community things, I'll never cross Tower Road and I can stay right in our community. Coffee. Volcanic Sushi would be my favorite restaurant. Since I have 3 dogs, I have to say dogs. Cocktail for sure. I'm an at-home on my deck cocktail kind of gal. I'm an 80s girl. When a hurricane is coming, the most important thing that I have is candles. The Alachua County area is so unique because we have a mix of progressive, hip things plus outdoor things. So I like to be outside so I can get dressed up and go to the theater, or I can go on a hiking trail. My best day trip is to either coast. I love the water, so I'll either go to Cedar Key and sit on the water or go to the beach. But I do like to go up to like Steenhatchee Horseshoe. They've got some really cool places up there too. So any place I can sit on the water and have a cocktail or eat a good meal. Yeah, by Usher. A guilty pleasure I have at home in the downtime, I will get sucked into like mini-series. So recently we just finished Animal Kingdom, and now we're in a new series called Barry.